The screech of tires echoed down the winding road just outside the sleepy town of Willow Creek as the yellow school bus came to an abrupt stop, jolting its young passengers forward in their seats. A German shepherd, muscles tense and eyes burning with primal focus, let out a deep, warning bark that silenced even the loudest children on board. In that moment, it wasn't just a bark. It was an alarm. A message. And had it come even 30 seconds later, the story you're about to hear might have ended in tragedy instead of triumph. If you believe in the power of second chances, the loyalty of animals, or the quiet courage that changes lives, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Justice on Paws. Because stories like this one deserve to be remembered. Officer Dana McAllister had been with the Willow Creek Police Department for over 15 years, but nothing in her career could have prepared her for that September morning. She had recently partnered with a retired military K-9 named Ranger, an intelligent and seasoned German shepherd who had saved lives in Afghanistan and was now being retrained for local service. Ranger wasn't just her partner. He was a survivor, a soul with quiet wisdom and haunted eyes, still scarred by the chaos of war but eager to serve once more. Dana, a widow and single mother of two, knew something about survival herself. Perhaps that's why she and Ranger connected the way they did. The call had come through just after 8 a.m. A bus driver on Route 5 had reported something strange enough for concern, but vague enough to be brushed off. A burning smell. A persistent rattling noise. A child claiming to have heard a ticking under the seats. No clear threat. But Dana knew better than to ignore gut instincts, especially when kids were involved. She and Ranger intercepted the bus just 5 minutes before it was due to arrive at Willow Creek Elementary. The bus had pulled over near the old wooden bridge that overlooked the creek bed. Dana quickly boarded, scanning the faces of frightened children, some crying, some frozen in confusion. The driver, an elderly man named Tom, looked pale and shaken. "It's probably nothing," he muttered, but even as he said it, Ranger's body tensed like a coiled spring. Then it happened. Ranger's ears shot up. His nose twitched. A low growl rumbled from his throat. And he lunged, swiftly weaving through the aisle until he halted, barking furiously, beside seat 9. Everything after that unfolded like a scene from a film. Dana ordered the bus evacuated. The children clambered out, some screaming, others staring wide-eyed as the K-9 barked and clawed at the floor near seat 9. Within moments, Dana spotted it, wires, black tape, something metallic glinting just under the seat. Her breath caught in her throat. A bomb squad was called. Hours later, it was confirmed, an improvised explosive device had been planted beneath seat 9, designed to detonate once the bus hit a certain speed. Had they continued driving, the outcome would have been unimaginable. Ranger's instincts had saved 23 children that day. The news spread fast. Headlines screamed, "K-9 hero prevents school bus tragedy." But what came next is what truly defies belief. Investigators scoured the bus, the route, and the surroundings. Security footage from neighboring roads was analyzed. What they eventually pieced together was chilling. A disgruntled former janitor, recently terminated from the school district, had been seen near the bus depot days before. He had a history of mental health struggles and a criminal record that slipped through the cracks. But the question no one could answer was, why seat 9? When questioned, Dana couldn't let it go. Seat 9 seemed too specific, too deliberate. That's when she met Maya. Maya Thompson was a quiet, sensitive girl who sat in seat 9 every morning. She had been adopted after surviving a devastating house fire that claimed her birth parents. Her new family loved her dearly, but she struggled with trauma and often kept to herself. The day after the incident, Dana visited her home to follow up, and Maya, clinging to a worn-out stuffed bear, whispered something that shook Dana to her core. "He saw me once. He was angry that I had a family and he didn't." It turned out the man responsible had once lived in the same group home as Maya before she was adopted. He had become fixated on her, jealous of her second chance. He had followed her silently for months, embittered and unraveling, until his obsession turned deadly. And yet, it never came to pass. Because of Ranger. What followed were weeks of healing, reflection, and quiet gratitude. Ranger, now hailed as a local hero, became more than a police dog. He became a symbol. Maya, once withdrawn and afraid, began opening up, first to Dana, then to other children. She and Ranger formed a bond that words couldn't define. He would visit her at school, sit beside her at therapy sessions, and even curl up next to her on her hardest days. The fear that once dimmed her eyes began to fade. For Dana, the incident stirred something deeper. Her work had always been about protection, but this was about redemption. For herself. For Ranger. For Maya. It reminded her that broken things could heal, that sometimes fate weaves lives together in impossible, beautiful ways. The town of Willow Creek changed too. Parents became more present. Teachers more watchful. The school implemented new safety measures, and a statue was erected outside the elementary entrance, a bronze likeness of Ranger, standing tall beside a young girl, capturing the silent strength that saved so many lives. And perhaps the most unbelievable part of it all. Maya now sits beside Dana every weekend at the animal shelter, volunteering with rescued dogs. She tells them stories in whispers, petting them gently. She believes, as Dana does, that sometimes the ones who've been through the most pain become the ones who save others. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe to Justice on Paws so more people can hear stories of courage, healing, and the incredible bonds between humans and animals. Every view helps us keep telling these stories. Every share might inspire someone to believe in hope again. In a world that often moves too fast to notice the quiet heroes, may we never forget the bark that stopped a bus, and the lives that were forever changed because of it.